Hi and welcome. I forgot to make a coffee, which is not very good, but it doesn't really matter. I forgot to also change my shirt. I wanted to change my shirt, but I did forget. I went out with a friend for a coffee. I feel absolutely amazing. An amazing day because I slept quite well. I woke up very rested and actually like, oh, yes, after sleep. So today I want to talk about the fact that most people have the wrong perspective, the wrong lens through which they see the world. Albert Einstein said, of course, you know the quote already, that insanity is doing the same thing every day and expecting a different result. So whatever problem you have, if it keeps on happening, it keeps on happening, and you don't find a result, and you keep on banging your head against the wall, and nothing changes, no results are exponential. You don't have like results out of the ordinary with that strategy. It means you have a wrong strategy. And usually, it's not about the strategy, it's about the way you look at the problem. If you look at the problem in terms of, let's say, let's give an example here, talking about motivation. If you look at the problem in terms of motivation and inspiration and procrastination, that's the wrong way to look at this problem, because that perspective does not give you the answer. It cannot give you the right answer. You cannot really look at that problem and say, I lack this, I have too much of this, I lack motivation, I have too much procrastination, I don't feel inspired, I don't have enough energy, I'm not one of those people who really can achieve anything and can put, if they put their mind to it, they can do it. You might say that there is no actual way to do anything without motivation, without willpower, without any of those. But I'm telling you, there is. And if you think that willpower and motivation and inspiration and energy and everything that you might think in those terms, inspiration, whatever, just being the kind of person who cannot give in to his desires or procrastination or social media, if you think those are your problems, you are wrong. Because all of those things, motivation, well, there is extrinsic motivation and intrinsic motivation, but most people get their fuel from extrinsic motivation. It would have been so easy if you got outsized returns off of your work, if you knew that you were getting 10 times more pay than or 100 times more pay for whatever you did, you would do it endlessly, because you know, of course, for a certain amount of time until you have enough money to not need to work. But that's the point. Most people are extrinsically motivated. But if you think that I'm going to talk about intrinsic motivation, you're wrong. I do not like intrinsic or extrinsic motivation. Both of them have downsides. Extrinsic motivation has the downside of the fact that if you don't get what you want, you will never do that again. So you will not have an internal locus of control. Intrinsic motivation, you will not do things for yourself, you will only do it for the result. Now when it comes to intrinsic motivation, whoa, I almost fell. Now when it comes to intrinsic motivation, it has a downside of the fact that whenever you do things for yourself, you forget about the fact that you should also do it for the result. So, how do we marry those things and lose the whole motivation paradigm forever and instead replace it with this certain thing? What would it be? I might ask you. I already know the answer, but you should pose your question and answer this. What is something that you can replace motivation with in order to have do more, not feel like procrastination is a problem, and really achieve exactly what you want, and without needing any motivation, any inspiration, any reason to do anything? You don't even need a reason to do anything. What is something that you're already doing, and why are you doing it? It's like we got this answer with social media. We are all addicted to it, And we got the answer there. Why are we getting addicted to it? These people have studied psychology and how people respond to certain triggers and certain stuff. They condition you, but you can use that for yourself, for your own benefit. And the answer is momentum. Motivation is bullshit. Momentum is the bomb. It's the most amazing thing that you can do. If you can split an hour of work into 10 minutes or 5 minutes or 1 minute intervals with breaks in between, you will build so much momentum than just doing the 1 hour. You're still doing the 1 hour, but your mind also plays on the idea of starting. It reinforces your habit formation. It makes you really build the habit of starting things, of starting to work. That's the biggest hurdle, and that's the biggest bottleneck. If you stood in front of the computer and you opened the document you needed to work with and you started to work, that's a sequence. If you did that, you would have worked like 6 hours. But instead, put a timer for 3 minutes and do it. And then take 1 minute break or 30 seconds break, put 3 minutes. It feels weird at first, especially if you do it for 1 minute. But you build the habit of starting. It takes 38 repetitions to build a habit. And the more momentum, that's the most crazy thing about momentum. You get outsized returns on your skills, on your everything that you do, because if you break it down into small increments and success, you make it so easy for yourself to succeed. You do it only for 10 minutes, 1 minute break, 10 minutes, 1 minute break, 10 minutes, 1 minute break. You build so much momentum that in 1 month or 1 month and a half, you will have such a different experience about the subject that you're doing the thing on, because you now have so much momentum that it becomes so much easier to do it. And not only so much easier, but you become so much better that it becomes addicting. That's exactly what happens. You are conditioning yourself with momentum, with breaking things down. You are conditioning yourself to do and build a habit like this. Imagine doing 10 repetitions every day for 10 minutes. That's 100 minutes a day, okay? It's not that much. Most people work 8 hours a day. So you break it down into 10 repetitions. How long would it take you to build a new habit? It takes 38 repetitions. That's just 4 days. That's so easy to do. And nobody does it. Why? Because it feels awkward. It feels awkward to do 3 minutes of work. But here's the key. You put a timer for 3 minutes and you stop at 3 minutes. Every single time you set a timer, you stop. And it's always, always better. Most people fail because they jump straight to 20 minutes. No, 3 minutes, 1 minute, 2 minutes. That's where the success is. You make it idiot proof. You make it so easy for you to succeed, to build momentum, that you end up succeeding so easily. Anyone can do 3 minutes of work. If you looked at a project and you said, oh, I have to work 300 hours on this project. Instead, say, I'm going to work 3 minutes. I'm going to set a timer and work 3 minutes. I'm just going to open the folder, look where the project is, and then open the document I need to work in. That's just it. And you're going to find yourself doing that in the first minute, and then 2 minutes you already started. You're like, oh, I still have 2 minutes. But you have to stop all the time. All the promises you make to your brain with the timer, respect them. Every single one. Never go overboard. The more you respect, you give your mind proof that you do not break promises, the more it will trust you. But it can only do that, it can only trust you, your mind will only trust you built on proof. Promises do not work. Your mind knows when you're trying to trick it. So don't trick your mind. Work with it. You will be absolutely amazed after 1 month to 1 month and a half. You will be absolutely out of this world with your momentum and your skill level and your work output. This is exactly how I posted about 140, 130 long form videos just like this on multiple channels. And it doesn't feel like work at all. I don't feel any procrastination, even though I was procrastinating a lot. I was having a lot of screen time on my phone, on my iPad. I was looking at screens on social media for hours and hours and hours, 6 hours, 4 hours, 3 hours, every day, every day. Instead, now I'm having more fun doing this, talking in front of the camera and exploring ideas. And I do not have a script. I set a direction because that's what I wanted to build. I wanted to build this skill where I set a direction without a script and I start talking on that subject because I already have a wealth of experience to pull from because I did a lot of things. Just take a look around. This is what I've done, but this is just 1% or less than 1% of what I've done. And with all of those things behind me, and not only that, but videos, but photos, everything else, it's just 1%. It's less than 1% of what I've done. And you might say, oh, that's because you were motivated. No. Every time I succeeded was because of momentum. Every time I look back, it was because of momentum. And every time I didn't succeed and I was slacking and I was procrastinating was because I did not have a system to build back up momentum. Do it for 3 minutes, do it for 2 minutes. And I learned this by going to the gym and explaining my ex-girlfriend. I explained to her after we went for 20 days in Greece or 14 days. I don't remember how much time we spent there. We went on a vacation. We also had an exhibit, beautiful exhibition, painting exhibition. And we went back to the gym after we built a lot of momentum going daily to the gym for 6 months. And then we went back to the gym and I didn't have any problem. I was just, doing my reps. And she was like, I cannot believe I've lost everything that I've worked for 6 months. And I'm like, give it 2 weeks. You'll see, just take it easier. Instead of trying to push yourself to the standard that you have had. This is for when you lose momentum, how to get back on the horse. Every time you lost your entire momentum and it feels like you have lost everything and you have to start over again, give yourself 2 weeks, and in 2 weeks, try to do less. Instead of trying to do as much as you can, make it so easy for yourself to succeed. Go back to 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. You can build with 3 minutes intervals, you can build 8 hours of work easily. So imagine just how much momentum you would build with 3 minutes in 4 hours, 3 minute intervals in 4 hours. It's crazy how much momentum you would be able to go back to your results in 3 days, in 4 days. It's incredible. Back onto the momentum. Change your mind, change your strategy for succeeding, change the whole paradigm about motivation and think in terms of momentum. Momentum is just a snowball that pushes you forward. Motivation is something that you need. I feel amazing and I'm going to have a beautiful coffee and go out with Sophie. I'm actually curious to see what this footage looks like. This is the iPhone 7 Plus. So I really want to know if it's good enough for the video because it's another camera that I have laying around and I can really focus on it and have a lot of fun by creating with this beautiful camera. And I can move around. I can do a lot of things with this setup. I'm just gonna sit by Sophie right over here and it's 4K. So yeah, it's been a long day. I've done a lot of things. I forgot to press record on the camera for the second meditation. So I saw after an hour of meditation. So I had to do 3 hours of meditation today because I didn't film the second session, so I had to film a third one. But it was nice to be able to meditate for 3 hours, even though it's quite late. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30, I think. And today was 27th of February 2024, and I feel tired. I still have to edit this video and take Sophie out for a bit. I put a timer for the render so that when the other videos are rendered, I can go ahead and edit this video as well and render them together so that I can post everything tonight. It's been a very, very, very long day. I had a friend visiting. He took like 3 hours of my life, but it's fine because I'm actually selling him my MacBook so that I can buy a Mac Mini because it's cheaper and I can spend that money on a down payment for a studio apartment. I ordered the tattoo machine, so you're gonna see me tattooing in, well, on the other channel, the effortless creative channel. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one.